Hello Internet, and welcome to my new Let's Play of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. This may be a bit of an odd choice if you haven't followed along outside of my videos. For some context, in August of 2024, we held a charity event on this channel for the Trevor Project. My initial goal was a $100 total over all 3 days of the event. Thanks to the folks who donated, we ended up at over $1,000. There were several things earned through this, including forcing me to make my eventual Xenoblade 2 Let's Play be for 100%, and needing to perform an entire Broadway musical on my own. Thing is, we never had an incentive for hitting $1,000, so I decided that for reaching $1,000, I would make a sequel series to Pokemon Generation 1, going over the differences made to the Kanto region and beyond in Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. That is what this is. The way this is going... Holy voice crack, okay. The way this is going to work is a bit odd. The first 9 or so episodes are going to be going over the entirety of the main story using the entire team that was used in Generation 1. Yes, the entire team. Think of the main story section as a retelling of the journey from Generation 1, while also going over all the new and updated mechanics, and the changes to how Pokemon play in brand new bios. Yes, I made 151 new bios for this Let's Play. Yes, it took forever. Yes, I will still be deleting comments that are annoying about it. Without further ado, let's begin. Wait, you faded out a little anticlimactically there, game. You're really, like, harshing the Browns right now. Okay. Let's begin. Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. The various buttons will be explained in the order of their importance. In the world which you are about to enter, you will embark on a grand adventure with you as the hero. Speak to people and check things wherever you go, be it towns, roads, or caves. Gather information and hints from every source. New paths will open to you by helping people in need, overcoming challenges, and solving mysteries. At times, you will be challenged by others and attacked by wild creatures. Be brave and keep pushing on. Through your adventure, we hope that you will interact with all sorts of people and achieve personal growth. That is our biggest objective. Press the A button and let your adventure begin. It's a very noble goal. I'm pretty sure what you actually just want is for me to buy your game. Hello there! Glad to meet you! Welcome to the world of Pokémon! My name is Oak. People affectionately refer to me as the Pokémon Professor. Oh, it's affectionate now. Awesome, people love you now. This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures called Pokémon. And yeah, to use the right cry this time, we're getting serious now. For some people, Pokémon are pets. Others use them for battling. As for myself, I study Pokémon as a profession. But first, tell me a little about yourself. Now tell me, are you a boy or are you a girl? Yeah, our first major difference is right off the bat, we have the option to play as a female character, and of fucking course we're taking it. Let's begin with your name. What is it? This character Jesus, the voice cracks today. This character does have a canon name. It's either Leaf or Green, depending on the source and whether or not you consider them separate characters. We're still going to be naming our protagonist Winter, because that's my name. Not in normal grammar, because this is Generation 3, not Generation 5 and up. All caps, please. Right, so your name is Winter. Yeah, I think so. This is my grandson. He's been your rival since you both were babies. What was his name now? Well, it's not Red, Ash, Keen, or Geki, so... This is Aiden. Was it Aiden? I think so. It's been a while since that Let's Play at this point, but I'm pretty sure that was their name. That's right, I remember now. His name is Aiden. Winter, your very own Pokémon legend is about to unfold. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! Alright, we are going to right away go into the options menu, where we can change our text speed to fast. Battle scene is the animations in the battle. Our battle style is going to be set to set, as usual. Mono is going to be changed to stereo, because why would I use mono? Button mode... I would recommend changing this to L equals A, in this specific game only. However, I'm gonna keep it as help, because I think that's funny. And we have the option of a frame type. This is something that stuck around for a long time in the Pokemon series. I don't know entirely why, but I mean, it's nice to have just that extra bit of customization. Otherwise, we have our trainer card as usual. Not much going on here, but yeah. 10604, that's my ID number this time. I won't remember that. We can also go up to the PC and, as usual, withdraw a potion. Also, you can actually get in beds in this game. This is the best game ever. The power of science is amazing. And we had to play the NES, obviously. Time to go. If you're confused, ask for help. Press the L or R button. I have a different point in the series where I want to talk about that, so leave me alone. Right, all girls dream of traveling. It said so on TV. Mom, you finally accept it. Oh yes, Professor Oak next door was looking for you. Also, if you're playing as a girl, there's a movie on TV. A girl with her hair in pigtails is walking up a brick road. I better go too. This still references Stand By Me in if you're playing as a boy, but it references... It references The Wizard of Oz if you're playing as a girl. Because girls can't watch Stand By Me, that's a boy movie. If we head down here, this character has different dialogue than they did in Red and Blue. Is that right? Oh, look! Read it! Nope. Technology is incredible. You can now store and recall... Yeah, we've been able to do that for years, dude. Can still talk to Daisy. Hi, Winter. My brother Aiden is out at Grandpa's lab. Okay. Let's go visit him at Grandpa's lab. What? It's only Winter? Gramps isn't around. Yeah, okay. Thanks, man. So things are pretty similar right off the bat. They will be staying that way. Hey, wait! Don't go out! It's unsafe. Wild Pokémon live in tall grass. You need your own Pokémon for your protection. I know. Here, come with me. Professor Oak's sprite in this game always looks really weird to me for some reason. He just looks really angry. Reminds me of like the imposter Professor Oak sprite from the beta of Pokemon Gold and Silver. Gramps, I'm fed up with waiting. Aiden, let me think. Oh, that's right, I told you to come. Just wait. Here, Winter, there are 3 Pokemon here. Haha! I just said something really funny. The Pokemon are held inside these Pokeballs. When I was young, I was a serious Pokemon trainer. But now in my old age, I have only these 3 left. You can have one. Go on, choose. Hey, Gramps, no fair! What about me? Be patient, Aiden. You can have one too. Well, here we are again. Before getting into things, a really quick overview. We're gonna go over these Pokemon because the way things work is actually quite different between Generations 1 and 3. In Generation 1, the special attack and special defense stats did not exist, instead being one single stat called Special, which determined both how much damage is dealt and received by special moves. Special attack and special defense were created in Generation 2, and they work how they sound like they would work. Special attack is how much damage you deal, special defense is how much you take. This split actually affects how Pokemon play pretty drastically, hence me creating new bios for every single one. On top of this, Generation 3 introduced abilities into the mix. These are more passive effects that are inherent to each individual Pokemon. Some Pokemon only have one, some have several, but these are almost always a good thing to keep in mind when picking up team members. Some Pokemon are great with one ability, but then horrible with another. I'll be bringing up standout abilities in bios where this actually applies, but if I don't bring them up, assume the ability doesn't make a difference in my own opinion. As always, feel free to comment with corrections or disagreements, and I'm always willing to make corrections in the future. Anyways, getting started with our first partner Pokemon, we have Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur actually isn't a great example of what we just discussed. Bulbasaur's special attack and special defense are tied, meaning if you used it in Generation 1, it functions pretty identically here. Bulbasaur will gain access to Leech Seed at level 7 and Vine Whip at level 10, making it an excellent answer to the first gym leader who uses Rock-type Pokemon, and it learns both Poison and Sleep Powder at level 15 just before it evolves. Poison is a bit more consequential in Generation 3 than it was in the first generation, though Sleep is still probably the better option here. Also of note is its ability, Overgrow. This will be far more useful to Bulbasaur long after it evolves, but don't discount these abilities just because they're on first partner Pokemon. A further 1.5 times boost to the same type attack bonus is nothing to sneeze at. Bulbasaur evolves soon enough, it's a great answer to the first gym, not much has changed here. Charmander is a slightly better example. With a higher special attack stat than special defense, it dishes out special hits slightly better than it can take them. However, the main change to Charmander in Generation 3, or rather in FireRed and LeafGreen specifically, is actually on the physical side. At level 13, Charmander will learn Metal Claw, a 50 power Steel-type move with a 10% chance of raising the user's attack stat. Metal Claw is given to Charmander to give it an answer to the first gym, but it turns out that this move is more useful than it may seem. Charmander doesn't learn any non-fire type special moves through level up, meaning any chance it gets to buff its attack to make its physical moves more powerful is worthwhile. Otherwise, there's not much different here. It doesn't learn any fire type moves other than Ember until level 31, and that's if you don't evolve it, but it can use the physical moves it gets decently well, especially if you get lucky and grab the buff from Metal Claw. Ember can even be situationally useful with the boost from Blaze. Charmander is definitely doing better now than it was in Generation 1. 3 still sounds better than 2, so it's Squirtle. In the same vein as how I felt it performed in Generation 1, Squirtle is probably the most consistently good starter in single player. Squirtle is definitely more on the defensive side than offensive, but don't let that fool you. As it grows, it will only become more and more powerful. As with Generation 1, Squirtle learns Bubble at level 7 and Water Gun at level 13, but on top of that, Squirtle also gets access to Withdraw at level 10. This is a Water-type move that increases the defense stat by 2 stages, and in the early game, that can make a big difference. Throughout the adventure, Squirtle will have a lot of great TMs that can be taught to it, and as you know from Generation 1, will have a solid matchup against several gym leaders. As long as you build your team around it so you have answers to the things Squirtle doesn't, it will make a great partner for your journey. Please be Bulbasaur. Damn it. Never on the first try will it be the one I want. Of course, Bulbasaur was actually in the correct slot in this game. Of course. Welcome back to the team, Hikat. Oh, do I want to reset for a female Bulbasaur? Hekat's technically a goddess. Okay, second try, I got a female Bulbasaur, by the way. Second try, I got a female Bulbasaur. I'll take it, dude. That is like a 12.5% chance. That's not common at all. I'll take this one then. Aiden received the Charmander from Professor Oak. We're starting back right where we left off. Except I forgot to change my settings back to how they were. Alright. If a wild Pokemon appears, your Pokemon can battle it. With it at your side, you should be able to reach the next town. My Pokemon looks a lot tougher than yours. Wait, Winter, let's check out our Pokemon. Come on, I'll take you on. First battle against Aiden, now known as Rival Aiden. Trainer classes exist now. Charmander, go, Hiket! Oh, for Pete's sake, so pushy as always. Winter, you've never had a Pokemon battle before, have you? A Pokemon battle is when trainers pit their Pokemon against each other. The trainer that makes the other trainer's Pokemon faint by lowering their HP to 0 wins. But rather than talking about it, you'll learn from experience. Try battling and see for yourself. You're gonna tutorialize me, I'm gonna tutorialize you right back. Greetings, this is the help system. Call me up whenever or wherever you need by pressing the L or R button. The help messages change to suit the situation, so check them often, please. This has context-sensitive documentation on most situations you can find yourself in the game. You could look up a walkthrough, but why would you when you can jump scare yourself every time you accidentally graze a shoulder button? What should I do in this situation? And then it has more! This is so in-depth, and it did technically return in future games, but it returned at the PC. This is the most easily accessible this has ever been, and the fact that it's content sensitive is also really helpful. You can also see a type matchup list. It's a little convoluted, this is a convoluted way of showing a type matchup list, but still. This is especially helpful if you're coming from Generation 1, because the Steel and Dark types didn't exist at the time. Yeah. This is just a really cool mechanic. I'm glad it's here, even if it can jump scare you occasionally. Anyway, let's start fighting. We're just gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're just gonna tackle. Inflicting damage on the foe is the key to any battle. Okay, Professor. We go into the Pokemon menu. It's important to get to know your Pokemon thoroughly. This is a list of your Pokemon, Winter. Open this to check the skills and moves of your Pokemon. You can also choose Pokemon here if you want to use an item on one. I should check Bulbasaur to see what's going on here. Timid nature. I think that's minus attack plus speed. I mean, that would make sense with those stats. Holy shit. I'm actually gonna look this up. I want to be sure that that's what timid is. Yep, that is minus attack plus speed. Natures, are interesting, and I'll go over them more in the future, in the post-game, but it is good to, check what stats your Pokemon's nature is going to impact, just so you know how best to use your Pokemon. Especially with Pokemon where stats are, more interchangeable with what one you put a focus in. This isn't an awful nature, though. And I think this is before traits, so yeah, there's nothing else to look at here. Okay, back to fighting. I have a potion, so I know I win, so... Maybe not! Okay! Well, maybe I don't win. I had to use the potion a lot earlier than I wanted to. Keep your eyes on your Pokemon's HP. It will faint if the HP drops to 0. I know, Professor. This is the only game in the series where you have a tutorial like this in your first battle. It's a little bit annoying. Also worth noting, the way critical hits work is vastly different in this game, but it essentially boils down to a 1 in 16 chance for every move to be a crit. Which I need now to win. Losing the first battle. Okay, well, things are a little different from how they were before. Charmander, come back! Yeah, am I great or what? How disappointing. If you win, you earn prize money and your Pokemon grow. But if you lose, Winter, you end up paying prize money. However, since you had no warning this time, I'll pay for you. But things won't be this way once you step outside these doors. That's why you must strengthen your Pokemon by battling wild Pokemon. Okay, I'll make my Pokemon battle to toughen it up. Winter, Gramps, smell you later. So yeah, the minus attack nature really screwed us over there on top of an unlucky crit. That would be the end if this was a Nuzlocke. Raise your young Pokemon by making it battle. It has to battle for it to grow. I know, Professor Oak. Okay, let's move on. I kinda hate that I wasted that potion, but that's just what happens. On to Route 1. Pallet Town to Viridian City. I gotta be real, the music in Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen is not my favorite. I think it's definitely the worst remake soundtrack in the series, but it's not as bad as I remember it. Mostly because, as a kid, I played this game a lot on emulators, and back in the day, the best Game Boy Advance emulator was called Visual Boy Advance. Visual Boy Advance is awful. It cannot emulate sound properly, and I think Visual Boy Advance alone gaslit so many kids into thinking FireRed and LeafGreen have a bad soundtrack when, realistically, no, it just was not being played properly by the emulator that everyone used back in the day. These days, MGBA is the big emulator. It's even what I'm using to record this particular Let's Play for no particular reason. I could record it on console if I wanted to. I think it's just more convenient to have it on my computer. But, yeah, I don't know. The music grows on me more every time I play the game, I think, and I still do have an attachment to it purely based on, like, nostalgia, because this was my first Game Boy Advance Pokemon game. The battle moves of Pokemon are limited by their power points, PP. To replenish PP, rest your tired Pokemon in a Pokemon Center. Okay, I know this. Let's heal up real quick. So, for the most part, in these first few episodes, specifically the main story episodes, I'm largely going to just be cutting around to interesting things and things that are different. Just because it's already going to take me so long to record and edit and, like, do everything for all these videos. It's just the best way I could think to structure it before we get to the post-game stuff that's going to be, like, new content. I think it should be fine this way, but you know what? I'm going to be open to comments because I'm still writing my notes as I'm recording, so, you know, I'm going to be a little bit more loose with how things are going in this Let's Play. The Pokemon Academy is still here. Whew, I've tried to memorize all my notes. Let's check out the notebook. First page. Pokeballs are used to catch Pokemon. Up to 6 Pokemon can be carried in your party. People who race and battle with Pokemon are called trainers. Turn the page? Of course. Second page. A healthy Pokemon can be hard to catch, so weaken it first. Poison, burn, or cause another status problem to weaken it. Okay. Third page. Pokemon trainers seek others to engage in Pokemon battles. To trainers, the taste of victory is sweet indeed. Battles are constantly waged at Pokemon gyms everywhere. Turn the page? Yes. Fourth page. The ultimate goal for all Pokemon trainers is simple. It is to defeat the top 8 Pokemon gym leaders. Do so to earn the right to face the Elite Four of the Pokemon League. Hey, don't look at my notes. True. I do like the colored text in well, not even Generation 3, just in FireRed and LeafGreen. That's another thing that never returned that these remakes did. Okay. Be sure to read what's on the blackboard carefully. Blackboard lists Pokemon status problems during battle. I can still go over these in more detail than the game. Paralysis still cuts speed by 75%, but no longer lowers the chance of escaping wild encounters. Sleep now only lasts 1 to 4 turns. Poison deals 1/8 of a Pokemon's maximum HP and damage is taken no matter what at the end of every turn. Bad Poison also no longer interacts with Leech Seed and other moves. Burned Pokemon now take 1/8 of their HP and damage every turn. Damage is taken no matter what. Instead of directly modifying the attack stat, burns now technically have the damage a burned Pokemon does with physical moves. There's also no method by which you can burn a Fire-type Pokemon. Frozen Pokemon now have a 20% chance to thaw out at the end of every turn. Along with this, every single Fire-type move will thaw out frozen opponents even if it doesn't have a chance to burn. Along with this, if a frozen Pokemon uses Sacred Fire, they will thaw out. In case you're planning on using a Ho-Oh on your team in this game where Ho-Oh isn't legitimately obtainable anymore. Freezing also disables an ability called Flash Fire that prevents Fire-type moves from dealing damage, presumably so Fire-type moves can still thaw frozen Pokemon out. Alright. That's it. You're now a graduate of the Pokemon Academy. Hey, you came from Pallet Town? You know Prof Oak, right? His order came in. Can I get you to take it to him? Okay, thanks. Please say hi to Professor Oak for me, too. Okay, you should really, like, hire a delivery person, I think. Oh, Winter, how is my old Pokémon? Well, it seems to be growing more attached to you. You must be talented as a Pokémon trainer. What's that? You have something for me? Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. I had it on order. Thank you. Gramps! I almost forgot. What did you call me for? Oh, right. I have a request for you two. On the desk there is my invention, the Pokedex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Winter and Aiden, take these with you. You can't get detailed data on Pokemon by just seeing them. You must catch them to obtain complete data. So here are some tools for catching wild Pokemon. Yeah, he actually gives you Pokeballs for free without making you grind and beat Aiden without catching any Pokemon. When a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. Just throw a Pokeball at it and try to catch it. This won't always work, however. A healthy Pokemon can escape. You have to be lucky. To make a complete guide on all the Pokemon in the world, that was my dream. But I'm too old. I can't get the job done. So I want you two to fulfill my dream for me. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking in Pokemon history. Alright, Gramps, leave it to me. Winter, I hate to say it, but you won't be necessary for this. I know, I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I'll tell her not to lend you one, Winter. Don't bother coming around to my place after this. Yeah, he actually gives you a hint to go get the town map in this game. Nice. Grandpa asked you to run an errand? Gee, that's lazy of him. Here, this'll help you. You'll receive a town map, which will actually disappear from the table. You can use it to find out where you are or check the name of a place. Checking the town map, which, yes, we also have pockets now. Technology is incredible. Nothing has really changed in the Kanto region. Everything is still laid out exactly the same. We can see more accurately where water and everything is, but yeah, we're not gonna be visiting any new locations within the Kanto region, really, so it's kind of relieving in a way. It's less work for me.
It's absolutely not less work for me.
Back in the tall grass, this time we have Pokeballs, so let's talk about our new encounters. Pidgey is considerably better in Generation 3 than it was in its debut. Gust is now a 40 power flying type move, and to make up for this change, Pidgey now starts with Tackle instead, learning Gust at level 9. Flying and Normal are just all around great types to get the same type attack bonus in. Pidgey and its evolutions only get guaranteed one non-normal or flying type attacking move through TM later in the game, but it really doesn't matter too much here compared to in future generations. You definitely need to pick its battles, but Pidgey is an easy answer to a lot of Pokemon, and a great choice for a flying type in this particular generation. Though we'll be saying more of why that is in its evolutions. Rattata! Make sure it has guts. All Runaway does as an ability is make it so you are guaranteed to be able to escape from any and all wild encounters. Guts, on the other hand, is one of the most powerful abilities in the entire series. If Rattata Eradicate is burned, paralyzed, or poisoned, their physical attacks will be stronger by 1.5 times. This makes them a devastating force, especially considering Rattata still gets access to Hyper Fang at level 13. Even before evolving, Rattata can be a genuinely devastating force, still easily better than your other potential encounter on this route. There's not much else to say. Rattata still gets the usual suspects for a normal type through TM. You know, everything, and great use of the same type attack bonus to boot. Don't write it off just because it's a normal type on Route 1. Alright, I'm just gonna grind up a little bit more, I think, before heading on to Route 22, because Aiden is gonna kick my ass again if I don't. I went ahead and got Haket up to level 8. I think that should probably be good. And just for the sake of being able to showcase everything, I'm actually going to sell all of the Pokeballs that Professor Oak gave us. Trust me, it's important. There we go. $500 extra. That makes up for losing to that Rattata. Oh, wait. I should also actually probably go over what the Pokemart is selling. Pokeballs are just a box standard Pokeball, no modifier, it just works. Potions restore 20 points of HP, antidotes heal poison status, and Parlas heal, not paralyze heal, heals paralysis. I don't need to buy those. I need to buy probably 2 potions will be fine. Alright. Anyway, on to Route 22. Before heading on to Route 22, if we go up here, this is no longer a hidden item. It's just sitting next to the tree instead of directly on top of the tree. Route 22, once again, there's some new encounters to go over. Here we go. It is amazing what access to the same type attack bonus can do for a Pokemon. Mankey has graduated from being bad to being good. With early access to both Low Kick and Karate Chop, Mankey is an excellent answer to the first gym, and on top of that, it also gets near normal type level TM compatibility. Its special attack may not be good, but it can be fun to teach it a move like Thunder or Overheat to give it an option outside of just normal and fighting type moves. Just keep it out of the way of flying and psychic types if you can. They tend to outspeed and one-shot Mankey quite easily. Spearow is still just fine. It still outspeeds Pidgey, but it gets a weaker flying type move and doesn't learn anything stronger until a while after it's evolved. Fury Attack at level 13 is okay, assuming you're okay with an inaccurate move to fill its attacking role. My recommendation for Spearow would be to simply wait until later on to catch a Fearow, because if you use Spearow, you may end up boxing it before it gets the moves that make it truly shine. At least with Fearow, you're using its strongest moves right out the gate. Really racking up those attack EVs on Hiket in this playthrough. I just, like, by default for when I'm going over bios and I, like, don't really have any way to progress without progressing the story is just fight wild Pokemon. And it turns out most of the wild Pokemon at this point in the game just give you attack EVs when you beat them. I do like seeing Mankey this early in the game, though. Also, no longer a version exclusive. They did a weird thing with version exclusives in the remakes, so I'll talk about that later. Went ahead and healed up my Pokemon. You know what time it is. Hey, Winter! You're off to the Pokemon League? Forget about it! You probably don't have any badges, do you? The guard won't let you through without them. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? Right into a battle. Starting with Pidgey, level 9, normal flying type, Keen Eye for the ability, so if you're using Sand Attack on it for some reason, it's immune, even though it's also a flying type. Knowing the moves Tackle, Sand Attack, and Gust. I'm going to start right away by using Leech Seed. The fact that it has Sand Attack is pretty annoying, especially since we're still working with only Hiket. So I'm just going to hope Leech Seed does some work as like a little buffer to maybe make things a little bit easier. And it's going right away for Sand Attack. Tackle is already only 95% accurate in Generation 3 and only 35 base power, so you know what? Leech Seed is probably going to be doing most of the work here. So far, that certainly is the case. Oh my god. We are -2 accuracy. Hey Cat, why can't you have Keen Eye? I know the answer is because you're a Bulbasaur, but like, maybe you're a particularly keen-eyed Bulbasaur. I just don't want you to be hit by Sand Attack 20 times at the beginning of every battle. Oh, this is weirdly close. But it should be fine from here. Even if we miss with Tackle, Leech Seed will take it out, and we didn't miss with Tackle. Which actually kind of sucks, because now we don't get the healing from Leech Seed. Alright. Charmander. Charmander is level 9, Fire type, Blaze for the ability, still only knowing Scratch and Growl, and as with the last battle, you'll just see the other potential Pokemon on the sidebar. I'm gonna go for Leech Seed. Oh no. I think I can afford one more attempt at Leech Seed? Barely. Okay. Charmander was seeded. That should get us up to 7 HP, probably? 6 HP, close enough. We can get back up to full health with a potion. Again, I'm not, like, implementing any rules against using a potion in this playthrough, like, mid-battle or anything. I'm just gonna try not to, but early in the game in a rival battle, I'm not really gonna worry about it much. I'm gonna use a potion if I want to use a potion. I almost used a second potion, that's how much I mean that. Alright. Yeah, the combination of Tackle and Leech Seed is going to be doing pretty good damage. So that's good. It feels... Okay, so I know the way I'm structuring this and everything, but I'm recording all of episode 1 in one sitting. Just because it's probably like 2 hours of gameplay. It can't be that taxing on me. If it is, then I'll stop and like record it in 2 sessions. But it feels so weird looking over at my recording, seeing it's been going for 40 minutes on episode 1, and I'm like this far in the game already. Just because, like, I'm not gonna go over everything in, like, explicit detail, because this is sort of meant to be, like, a companion piece to my Generation 1 Let's Play, but... I heard the Pokemon League is crawling with tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. You should quit dawdling and get a move on. Okay, thanks for interrupting me, man. Normally in episode 1 in a series is dedicated to, basically, going over... like everything I need to go over so that the rest of the series can go by smoothly. There's just not as much to go over here because I already talked about it in my Generation 1 Let's Play, and this is made as a companion piece to that, and there's just not as much to say. If you go back to Professor Oak, and you're out of Pokeballs, and you haven't caught any Pokemon, and you beat Blue... Ah, how's your Pokedex shaping up? Aiden has already caught some Pokemon and added to the data. So, Winter, let's have a look at your Pokedex. What's the matter? You've added no new data at all. I'll give you these, so do try a little harder. He still gives you 5 Pokeballs. With new dialogue this time, and the text formatting's not wrong, so good on him, but... this is such remote text. Because he actually gives you the 5 Pokeballs, and the only way you're gonna, like, run out of all those Pokeballs is if you sell them, because there's no way you're gonna fail to catch a Pokemon early in the game throwing 5 Pokeballs at it. Like, I didn't know this text existed. I am so glad I thought to try it in a test playthrough, because it's so funny that they still do this. So we still get 5 free Pokeballs, and we got 500 Pokedollars out of doing it that way, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go through, catch a few Pokemon that I didn't catch because I was busy doing this bullshit. I will say, I highly recommend catching as many Pokemon as you're capable of in this particular game. Even if you're not planning on using them, it will save you a headache in the post-game, let me tell you. Catch as many as you can. Also, an interesting difference. See how it says Seed Pokemon there? In version 1.0 of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, that would just say Seed. Actually, no, that might be wrong. Okay, no, look at this. I'm playing version 1.0 of Pokemon LeafGreen. So, instead of being the tiny bird Pokemon, Pidgey is just the tiny Pokemon. This is a glitch that was fixed in all future updates to the cartridge for Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, but in version 1.0 specifically, instead of saying tiny bird or, you know, tiny turtle for Squirtle, if a Pokemon's, like, descriptor is set to 2 words instead of 1, it will always cut out the second word, which can have some very funny, like, side effects for certain Pokemon. I'm gonna look at these, see if there's any other ones here. Mouse Pokemon, that's normal. Another tiny Pokemon. Pig Pokemon. I don't think that's right. It's a pig monkey Pokemon, I'm pretty sure is what it's supposed to say. I don't know, I find it very interesting. Also, the Pokedex in this game is just really, like, weirdly formatted. There, you can see all the different types of Pokemon and format it that way, or you can just look in numerical order. I kind of like this, actually. I'm gonna be real. Rare Pokemon. We don't have any of those yet. Anyway. Well, now, I've had my coffee, and that's what I need to get going. What is that red box you have? Ah, so you're working on your Pokedex. I can see it's a red box now. Then let me give you a word of advice. Whenever you catch a Pokemon, the Pokedex automatically updates its data. You don't know how to catch a Pokemon? I suppose I better show you then. Wild Weedle. That is not at all what this guy looks like in the overworld, but that's fine. Yes, very slowly go through the bag. You need to make sure I know that he's an old man. The old man used Pokeball. Wait, but what should I do? Weedle was caught, and we skipped the fanfare. Yippee! There, now tell me, that was educational, was it not? And here, take this too. The Teachy TV. If there's something you don't understand, watch that. It'll teach you about the basics of being a Pokemon trainer. The Teachy TV is a dumbass item. So you know the helpful help menu that we have access to by pressing the L or R button at any time? Well, what if they had that, but it was infinitely less useful because you have to go all the way into the menu and don't have access to it at just the press of the L or R button? And it's just like you need to memorize everything you see in it because you can't just access it whenever you want mid-battle. That's what this is. Teach me how to battle. Hey, all you trainers out there! Hello, trainers! Come on, let me hear you! Hello, trainers! It's me, the Poke-Dude! Today, the Poke-Dude's here to tell you how you can battle Pokemon! Say you're out on a stroll and suddenly a wild Pokemon appears! It's up to you to smartly use your Pokemon and their moves to reduce the opponent's HP to nothing and claim victory! I'll show you how to do that in person and for sure. Alrighty, here goes. Keep your eyes glued to the Super Poke-Dude show. Pidgey! Level 18, where are you? The speedier of the battlers gets to attack first. Right for Hyper Fang. Looks like my Rattata is faster than the Pidgey. At level 18? I mean, I guess this Rattata is specifically trained for this, of course. The battlers take turns attacking and reducing each other's HP. My Rattata reduced the foe's HP to 0, so it wins! The Pokemon that took part in the battle get experience points. When a Pokemon collects enough EXP points, it levels up. Leveling up makes your Pokemon stronger than before. Well, did you get that? Even if your Pokemon's HP falls to 0 and it becomes unable to battle, not to worry. Just take it to any Pokemon Center and heal it. Alrighty, we seeing you. Remember, trainers, a good deed a day brings happiness to stay. You may recognize that guy if you played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. He actually returns with a, like, actual character name that I can't remember. His name is Primo. He only exists in FireRed and LeafGreen and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The old man is his grandfather. He has a younger twin brother named Maximo. So yeah. His trainer class is just Poke-Dude. Cool. What are status pro? I don't really want to watch any of these. We know how to do all of these, but yeah. I mean, it's an item that you can look at if you want to look at it. But there's not much more to say about it than that. Nothing at all is different on Route 2. It's exactly the same, so I get to just cut ahead to Viridian Forest. Yippee! We have splash art for dungeons now. There's also a hidden antidote here. This wasn't here in Red and Blue. It is now. Make sure you grab it. I came here with some friends to catch some bug Pokemon. They're all itching to get in some Pokemon battles. Okay. Is the girl who was here in Pokemon Yellow who, no. There's a girl here in Pokemon Yellow who I never battled. She's a lass, and her behavior is interesting because she doesn't approach you when you enter her line of sight. You need to talk to her to engage her in battle. I don't know, it's just a little interesting that that's the way it was done. Anyway, there's not much to do here except go over the encounters, so let's do that. Caterpie! Caterpie doesn't learn anything other than Tackle and String Shot, both of which it will come knowing, and as in Generation 1, I'd recommend catching Caterpie over Metapod. It evolves at the low level of 7, and you get the benefit of having an attacking move out of it. Metapod! If you catch it as a Metapod, it will only know Harden. Catch Caterpie instead. Once your Metapod hits level 10, it will evolve into the real talking point of the area. Immediately upon evolving, Butterfree learns Confusion, and just like in Generation 1, this is a very strong move to have access to this early in the adventure, dealing neutral or super effective damage to just about everything we'll be coming across. It also learns Poison Powder, Stun Spore, and Sleep Powder at levels 13, 14, and 15, and thanks to its ability Compound Eyes, the normally low accuracy of these moves is increased by 1.3 times, bringing them up from 75% to 97%. Only barely less accurate than Spore. This alone makes Butterfree a significantly more useful lead than it was in Generation 1, able to put opponents to sleep or paralyze them early on in any given battle. Butterfree also has the benefit of the TM pool in Generation 3 being a lot better overall, having access to Hidden Power and Giga Drain later on in the adventure to improve its type coverage. Don't get me wrong here, Butterfree will still fall behind later into the adventure, but it's by no means a slouch. Even if you don't intend to use it in the long run, I'd still recommend picking one up at least before fighting Brock. Weedle! It still technically beats Caterpie in the 1v1 due to Poison Sting's 30% chance of inflicting poison, but Poison isn't even super effective on Bug anymore, so it's by a slimmer margin. Still pick one up if you plan on using the Weedle line. Kakuna still only learns Harden through level up. Catch a Weedle and evolve it into Kakuna instead. Like Metapod, Kakuna evolves early when it hits level 10. Beedrill is significantly better in Generation 3 than it was in its debut. It's still not good, but it's better. Beedrill gets access to some pretty decent moves through TM, including Swords Dance and Sludge Bomb. While we aren't going to have access to this combination until long after Beedrill would be able to keep up with other Pokemon, and Beedrill would still need to get very lucky with Hidden Power to have access to a passable Bug-type move, it's still something? Unfortunately, Beedrill doesn't get good use out of its ability Swarm. It will almost never live to be at low enough HP to use it to its advantage, and the Bug-type moves it does reliably learn are so weak that there's just not much benefit to it either way. Beedrill is still usable if it's a Pokemon you like, just maybe don't rely on it to be your heavy damage dealer, because Beedrill cannot be that most of the time, especially before the late game. Last but not least, Pikachu! It hurts me to say that Pikachu is still very outclassed. In Generation 3, there's no easy way for Pikachu to get access to Surf, and its signature item, the Light Ball, which was introduced in Generation 2 and which Wild Pikachu have a small chance to be holding in almost every single game since its introduction, can't be held by Wild Pikachu in this game for some reason. This isn't to say Pikachu is bad, it gets the moves you'd expect like Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Quick Attack, but if you want variety beyond normal fighting and electric-type moves, you'd be better off waiting for Electabuzz, if you're playing the game with Electabuzz in it. Yeah, I mean, Butterfree is still the best Pokemon you can get here, so not much has changed in that respect either. Also, all the trainers have names. I should mention that. This is our, first area where we can actually fight trainers who aren't Aiden, but yeah, literally every trainer you fight has a name now, so things are, it's the power of science, I'm telling you, it's incredible. Somehow that Kakuna got up to +6, and it still lost. Now, I am gonna go through and catch everything, obviously, but there's one thing I want to make sure I show before I, go full just locked into playing the game and not commentating. Up here, there is a trainer who is not present in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. That's literally all. That is the only thing I wanted to show in Viridian Forest other than what's already there. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same, but if anything interesting happens, obviously I'll bring it up. That trainer's not new. They just moved the guy who was here up there. Huh. Why? What's the point of that? Finally found a female Caterpie. It's just, I always envisioned Margarine as a girl, I think. So, there we go. It's confirmed now. Welcome back to the team, Margarine. Temporarily still, but, you know, you'll always be a permanent team member in my heart. This is the new trainer. This person was not here before. Did you know that Pokemon evolve? Sounds like the dialogue of someone who's going to use an evolved Pokemon, which means you're going to use Metapod and Kakuna and not Butterfree. Yep. I was spot on, as always. Or 2 Metapods and a Caterpie. Sure, dude. Whatever floats your weird little boat. I have been searching for Pikachu for so long that I literally had to go back and heal because I ran out of PP for Bulbasaur's attacking moves. Why is Pikachu being a pain in the ass? I love Pikachu. You know what? I'm setting a stopwatch to see how long it takes for Pikachu to appear. I thought it would be the first one after setting the stopwatch, I'm not gonna lie. I thought. About 5 minutes. It took about 5 more minutes. There was a trip to go heal included in that. But fucking finally, I found Pikachu. Now please stay in the ball when I throw it. I'm begging you. Oh, or paralyze me, of course, yeah. Margarine, why? She got a critical hit! No! Oh my god. Finding another Pikachu only took like 2 minutes. Still annoying that I had to find another Pikachu in the fucking first place, but I found another one, thank god. Also, Margarine has shed skin, so there's a 30% chance that this paralysis will be healed off at the end of every turn. Please don't crit again. Thank you. Oh, Margarine, thank you. Please get in one of these 5 Pokeballs. Oh, I don't like it when they get out. I don't like it at all. Thanks, Shedskin. Please, get in and stay in the damn ball. Oh, thanks. It was listening. It could tell I was losing my shit. When several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity can build and cause lightning storms. True. Okay, I can finally leave this damn forest. I found another Pikachu right away, of course. Margarine has finally hit level 10. Which means Margarine is evolving again. There we go. Margarine evolved into Butterfree. And learned Confusion. The Pokemon Yellow method of giving you confusion right away so you aren't being annoying to the player. I respect it. Now I can actually leave this damn forest. Finally! There is still a hidden item in front of where this bug catcher is normally standing. All the way over here. In red and blue, this is just a, like, this is like 2 spaces wide, so it's right in front of him, but yeah, you actually have to do a little walking to find the hidden item in this particular version of Viridian Forest. We made it through Viridian Forest. It only took 30 minutes. Pikachu. Pewter City's looking a lot nicer than it used to. It has a nice sidewalk and everything. Looks nice. There are many serious Pokemon trainers here. They're all like bug catchers, you know, just hobbyists. But Pewter City's Brock isn't like that, not one bit. Okay. I read a comment in my Generation 1 Let's Play where somebody said that they read Brock as sort of like a bully who's beating up bug catchers with his rock-type Pokemon just for fun and not letting people leave the town. And that is such a funny interpretation. I love that.
Yeah, when Jigglypuff sings, Pokemon get drowsy. Me too.
I don't know, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. What? Team Rocket is at Mount Moon? Huh? I'm on the phone! Scram! I really want a Pikachu, so I'm trading my Clefairy for one. I'm trading Pokemon with that kid there. I had 2 Pikachu, so I figured I might as well trade one. I see what you're doing here. In Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, normally these 2 kids would be right next to each other, because they have to be trading with a link cable. But Pokemon LeafGreen and FireRed came with an infrared sensor. No, infrared, wireless. A wireless sensor that allows you to trade over a short distance. I see what they're going for here. Or they meant to put this kid down here facing him and they just forgot to move him. Glad to meet you. That's unfriendly of you. How about saying hi back? So come on, tell me about yourself. I'd love to hear your profile. Tell me something good about yourself. What's your profile? Sure. What's your profile? Okay, so this is a thing in Generation 3. I don't even have this written in my notes to do this. That's how remote this is. I am a awesome disaster. I am a awesome disaster! Your profile really says something about who you are. Wow, thanks, bitch. Jesus. Now that I know you better, it makes us better friends than ever. I don't know who you are! What's your name? Tell me your profile, huh? Who are you? Alright, we got our whole team together. So let's explore a little bit of Pewter City now. Pewter City's Pokemart sells some different items from Viridian cities. We have Awakenings, which heal sleep, obviously. Burn Heal, which heal burns, obviously. Escape Robes, which instantly teleport you out of any dungeon to the entrance, not to the previous Pokemon Center. Thank God. No more getting out of Cerulean Cave all the way to Lavender Town with a single, like, tiny piece of rope. And Repels. We can already buy these, thank God. Anyway. Other than that, there's not too awful much to talk about in Pewter City, not Viridian City. You can still enter the museum for $50. Jesus, it's expensive. And they do still have sprites for these. Aerodactyl, a primitive and rare Pokemon. I should be grateful for my long life. I never did I get to think I would see the bones of a dragon. True. Kabutop's fossil. Still sprited as well. Space Shuttle. It's no longer the Columbia. I wonder why. This month we're running a space exhibit. Nice. July 20th, 1969! Nice. Humankind first set foot on the moon that day. I bought a color TV just so I could watch that news. I don't think that was broadcast in color. Yeah, that wasn't broadcast in color. So, sorry you wasted your money in 1969. Nice. Meteorite that fell on Mount Moon is thought to be a moonstone. Moonstone, huh? What's so special about it? Looks like an ordinary rock to me. Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Now that that's done, is there a hidden item up here? It looks like there should be. Of course not. We're in a city. Why would they put a hidden item in a place where it looks like there should be a hidden item? Clefairy come from the moon, that's what the rumor is. They appeared after the moonstones fell on Mount Moon. Okay. Into the gym. Alright. We're gonna fight the first trainer here. Stop right there, kid! You're 10,000 light years from facing Brock. Who are you calling kid? Camper Liam? Sends out Geodude. He actually has rock-type Pokemon in this generation. That's a lot to ask of this Generation 1 trainers, so good for him. He's moving up in the world. Brock saw fit to let him have a Geodude. Otherwise, there's nothing remarkable about this fight. This Geodude doesn't know any rock-type moves. If it did, it would have used one, so... yeah. Margarine grew to level 11 from beating that Geodude. And Sandshrew. Okay, he has one rock. He has a rock type. But at least it's not Diglett and Sandshrew. Even though Diglett makes more sense to have than Sandshrew at this part of the Kanto region, but whatever. We'll ignore that. We'll ignore that Diglett's cave is right outside the city. Sure. Light years isn't time, it measures distance! You're pretty hot. Thanks? But not as hot as Brock.
Whoa, he's bisexual! I didn't know that!
By the way, I'm bisexual!
Okay. Let's fight Brock. So, you're here. I'm Brock. I'm Pewter's gym leader. My rock-hard willpower is evident even in my Pokemon. My Pokemon are all rock-hard and have true grit determination. That's right, my Pokemon are all the rock type. You're going to challenge me knowing that you'll lose? That's the trainer's honor that compels you to challenge me. Fine then, show me your best. He's even wearing a vest this time. He went for more than just a shirt, he's going crazy. His design is actually explicitly based on his anime design here. Even the colors of his vest and pants are taken from the anime. Alright, he's leading with Geodude, level 12, rock ground type, rock head for the ability, which does nothing since it doesn't know any recoil moves, knowing the moves tackle and defense curl. I led with Margarine specifically because this is the only Pokemon on this team Margarine can actually do anything against in this generation. We'll talk about that once he sends out Onix, but yeah. You're going to be seeing that for the most part, gym leaders have the same teams, it's just their movesets that are different. And Brock, I think, was changed for the worse in Generation 3, so that's where we're at here. Margarine easily taking out Geodude should get her up to level 12. Alright. Onix. Onix is level 14, rock ground type, rock head for the ability, which also does nothing in this situation, and the moves tackle, bind, and rock tomb. I am not a huge fan of Onix knowing rock tomb here. It goes against the entire point of the gym, at least in red and blue. Rock tomb is a 50 power rock move with a 100% chance to lower the target's speed, making it absolutely devastating to Charmander or Butterfree, even if you do have Metal Claw by the time you fight Brock. If you picked Charmander, you should pick up a Mankey to make your life easier, because even Butterfree can't sweep here anymore. We don't really have a clean switch. I'm gonna go ahead and use String Shot, just to prevent it from potentially outspeeding Bulbasaur. We're gonna be doing some more strategic sacrifices, since the gym leaders actually have good movesets in this game. Well, good moveset, you know what I mean. Okay, Margarine fainted in one hit, as expected. Sorry, baby. I don't know why. I almost said, like, I did say baby, but I almost said it in like a weird, like, just a weird tone that I'm not completely comfortable with. Okay, we have Vine Whip. This should one-shot. Easily. All right. Almost level 15 from that, too. I took you for granted, and so I lost. As proof of your victory, I confer on you this, the official Pokemon League Boulder badge. Still get this one in battle for some reason. Just having the Boulder badge makes your Pokemon more powerful. It also enables the use of the move Flash outside of battle. Of course, a Pokemon must know the move Flash to use it. Wait! Take this with you! A TM, Technical Machine, contains a technique for Pokemon. Using a TM teaches the move it contains to a Pokemon. A TM is good for only one use, so when you use one, pick the Pokemon carefully. Anyways, TM39 contains Rock Tomb. It hurls boulders at the foe and lowers its speed. Better than Bide, but I still would prefer if Brock had Bide instead, because it makes more sense from a design standpoint, but whatever. Just as I thought, you're Pokemon Champ Materia. I didn't even talk to you. Alright, we're going to be saving the Rock Tomb TM for Annabelle or Rhine, probably, but it's good to have. It's a pretty good move. Solid. Like, not having 100% accuracy is rough, but having a 100% chance of lowering target speed is pretty cool. Before moving on, I recommend buying a few repels and an escape rope. Not 6 repels, that's a bit much. 3 should be fine. And 1 escape rope. Alright. Now let's head on out to Route 3. Oh, Winter! I'm glad I caught up to you. I'm Professor Oak's aide. I've been asked to deliver this, so here you go. Running shoes! Finally! Press the B button to run, but only where there's room to run. Well, I must be going back to the lab. Bye-bye. There's a letter attached. Dear Winter, here's a pair of running shoes for my beloved challenger. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Don't ever give up. From Mom. Oh my god, this is the longest it takes in any game that has running shoes for them to give you running shoes. I can actually move at a reasonable pace now, even though the running sprite looks a little bit weird, but I think that's just par for the course for Gen 3. Everything looks a little bit weird. You can't run indoors, unfortunately, but, you know, it's good to have them. This is something I think Red and Blue desperately needed, because you move so slow in those games. And the fact that they make you wait until after you have a gym badge to be able to run in this game is ridiculous! Even in Ruby and Sapphire, they have your mom give them to you after you get the Pokedex before you can leave the hometown. It's just, like, so ridiculous that they make you wait this long, but whatever. We have our first badge, we have our running shoes, we have our first 2 team members, although one of them is temporary. Next time on Pokemon Generation 1, we're going to be doing everything there is to do through the Cerulean City Gym. See you guys then.